So his staff is what we call a single-headed staff. So if you notice, it tapers. It's thicker at the end, and it tapers down as it goes forward. It comes out of the Southern tradition in the sense that we do our staff right side forward. In the Southern tradition, spears were done left side forward, and then staffs were done right side forward. And then what would happen is there'd always be something special like left-handed staff or right-handed spear. But for the most part, Southern staff is right side forward. Everything I'm going to show you is right side forward, even though we did obviously at more advanced levels some draw south left-hand techniques. I'm going to start off with some drills without the staff, which should also maybe beg the question that you've read my history book, if you've read some of the better stuff on Chinese martial arts. It all started off as military training, and military training obviously was with weapons. So it sort of always begs the question is that how much does the empty hand that we do in naval martial arts come right out of the way that we wield weapons? The other one, this is palm out, this is palm in. Sort of the same thing, come up and look at the palm and bring it around. And now for those of you that can chew gum and walk at the same time, I've lost some of you right here. Now think about stuff like elbow locking, socks out, right? All these things that we do. Again, I don't have a definitive answer, but I can suggest to you that some of the stuff that we do empty-handed might have been inspired, influenced by the weapons. You can see, now right now I'm just doing this part, right? And obviously since I'm not really using my right hand, you're not seeing the full motion. And then I'm doing this again without the other hand. But what I'm trying to do is, when I combine them, one hand will be up and one hand will be down. So for example, when I'm pulling up the left, I'm pushing out the right. And then I'm going to come up. So the idea is, I'm making a circle with the point of the staff. But here, once you get sort of the basic of this, I don't know if you guys can see my hand right now, but I'm kind of almost like, again, like slip salad, like turning, because I want to get sort of an extra turn on my staff. So not just to here, but if you want to like try to get a look at me from the front, how I'm kind of hooking through. Staff better. Right now, the secret is not to do these big circles. Tighten up our circles. Now, and that's always the challenge in martial arts, which is we start off with really big circles and then they become smaller circles. This is Mo Cho Chum set, which means literally like parting the grass to look for snakes. So in other words, this motion down here, going from sort of the outside of my ankle to the inside of my shin, is Bo Cho Chum set. And then when I pick it up, it's now, which means literally Bo Cho Chum set and now. Sort of like a reverse front stance into a front stance. But again, also looking at this, you see my wrist and my hand, how it's turning in, so I get more power. If he's poking me here, for example, now remember, I don't want to just be like a block, right? This he's still sliding in, right? What I want to do is, you see the hooking point? Now let's say he went to poke me in the shins. So he pokes me in the shins, and then he pulls back to poke me in the face. Oh, real slow, so I don't fall back. Then I'll forget. I'll have that post-traumatic stress disorder thing where I kill people. You see what I'm doing? So he pokes me. And again, I don't want to just leave it here. I'm moving it over there. I'm creating that lead. Right? I'm exaggerating a little bit now. Because then from there, I can come straight in. Right? If I just stopped you here, like you're poking me, just leave it there. Just leave it there. Right? Leave it like it's supposed to be. Some people just do it. And then if I come in, right?
Redirect it.
I'm not there. Does everybody see what I'm talking about? If I'm here, then when I come in. If he goes to poke my face, same thing. I don't want to just do this. We just do these kind of things. And we do some stuff like this. But this is much more effective. And one of these I'm going to tell you also is that because as I do this to him, right, I'm actually making it harder for him to hold the staff, right, because I'm going to. And then, of course, later I'm going to show you the real way I'm going to make it hard for him to hold the staff. But we're just going to do what Chom say. And again, also, like, give your staff. We're fighting here. Sometimes, you know, I'm using what Chom say to actually hit you in the shin. Boom. And so if you're trying to hit me in the shin also, you know, like this way. And I'm using what Chom say. And then what I can do is I can do like, you know, kind of kung fu kind of things and stick as I'm coming around to get in close. Right? In other words, just put the staff here. See, we're sticking staff. Right? Now, I hate drills where they do that more than once because that's not real. Like I said, if he wanted to poke me, boom, and then maybe I'll use it just to get here. And if you notice, I didn't stay here, right? He went to, boom. Because now, we were having a discussion earlier about whether a short staff or a long staff. I don't need a long staff. I mean, I can use a long staff. But as long as I'm doing my technique correctly, I can get close. Have I made myself relatively understandable? Let's work what Chom say to now. You lean back. Now look at my elbow too. I don't want to do the, I'm always talking about with my own students, don't do the funky chicken. See how my elbow is in? And then as I come here, see how my elbow is in? So again, I'm making smaller circles too. I'm not going, right, I'm not going like this. I'm going like this. One more jump, this one is laughing at me. See what I'm, also generally speaking, this is your power. This is guiding, but the power is here. When we get to the SOT, which is probably the most important thing I can teach you, keep that in mind, okay?